What if I told you that the moment you turn 80, your body starts 5 specific changes that will happen whether you fight them or not? In the next 15 minutes, you'll discover exactly what these 5 inevitable changes are and the simple steps you can take right now to not just survive them, but actually thrive through each one. And I'll reveal the one change that most doctors never warn you about, but could be the difference between living independently or needing constant help. Last month, Beverly from Denver called me in complete confusion. At 81, she suddenly couldn't understand why she felt so different from just a year ago. Her doctor said it's just aging, but that wasn't good enough for her. What Beverly discovered changed everything about how she approached her golden years. Change 1, your muscles start disappearing. Fast after 80, you lose muscle mass 3 times faster than you did in your 70s. This isn't just about looking different in the mirror. Research from Johns Hopkins University shows that adults over 80 lose approximately 8% of their muscle mass each year, compared to just 3% in their 70s. This dramatic acceleration happens because your body's protein synthesis slows down significantly while muscle breakdown speeds up. The combination creates what researchers call sarcopenia, and it affects nearly 50% of people over 80. Your muscles aren't just getting weaker, they're literally disappearing at an alarming rate. Think about Harold from Milwaukee, who at 79 could still carry his groceries without help. By 81, he needed assistance getting those same bags from his car to his kitchen. This wasn't because he got lazy or stopped trying. His body had entered this accelerated muscle loss phase, and nobody had warned him it was coming. The scariest part is that most people don't notice until they've already lost significant strength. You might feel fine sitting in your favorite chair, but when you try to stand up quickly, that's when the reality hits. The consequences of ignoring this change are severe and immediate. Johns Hopkins researchers found that seniors who lose muscle mass rapidly face a 300% higher risk of dangerous falls within just 6 months. Your ability to catch yourself when you stumble depends entirely on having enough muscle strength to react quickly. Without adequate muscle mass, a simple trip over a rug becomes a potential hip fracture. Even more concerning, once you fall and injure yourself, the recovery time doubles for every year you're over 80, and your confidence may never fully return. Here's what you must do starting today. Eat 25 grams of protein within 1 hour of waking up, every single morning without exception. This could be 2 eggs with a slice of cheese, a cup of Greek yogurt with nuts, or a protein smoothie. The timing matters more than the source, because your muscles can only absorb protein efficiently when your metabolism is active. Additionally, perform simple resistance exercises 3 times per week using just your body weight. Stand up from your chair 10 times in a row, hold onto your kitchen counter and do 10 gentle squats, or use light soup cans as weights for arm exercises. Don't wait another day to start this routine, because every day you delay, you lose muscle you can't easily get back. Change 2. Your balance system rewires itself. Ever wonder why you suddenly feel unsteady when you never did before? At 80, your inner ear, vision, and nervous system stop communicating as effectively as they once did. Mayo Clinic research reveals that your balance system undergoes fundamental changes that affect 75% of adults over 80. The tiny sensors in your inner ear that detect motion and position become less sensitive. Your visual processing slows down, making it harder to judge distances and detect obstacles. Most importantly, the nerve signals between your brain and muscles take longer to travel, creating a dangerous delay in your body's ability to correct itself when you start to fall. Consider Janet from Phoenix, who prided herself on her steady gait well into her late 70s. At 80, she began noticing that getting up from her favorite armchair required more concentration than before. By 81, she was holding onto furniture when walking through her own home. This progression isn't unusual or shameful. It's a predictable change that happens to nearly everyone, but the medical community rarely explains it clearly. The problem isn't weakness in your legs. It's that your brain needs more time to process balance information and send corrective signals to your muscles. The danger of ignoring these balance changes cannot be overstated. According to the Centers for Disease Control, adults over 80 who experience balance problems are 6 times more likely to fall within the next 12 months compared to those with stable balance. These aren't minor tumbles either. Falls in this age group frequently result in serious injuries, including hip fractures, head injuries, and broken wrists. Even if you don't get seriously hurt, the fear of falling often leads to reduced activity, which accelerates muscle loss and creates a dangerous cycle. Many people become prisoners in their own homes, avoiding normal activities because they're afraid of losing their balance. Take action immediately with this simple daily routine. Every morning, stand behind a sturdy chair and practice standing on one foot for 30 seconds, then switch to the other foot. Do this 3 times on each side. Throughout the day, when you're standing at the kitchen sink or bathroom mirror, practice closing your eyes for 10 seconds while holding onto the counter. This trains your balance system to work without relying on vision. Most importantly, never rush when changing positions. When getting out of bed, sit on the edge for 30 seconds before standing. When standing up from a chair, use your arms to push yourself up slowly and pause for a moment before walking. Your balance system needs time to adjust, so give it that time every single day. Change. 3. Your sleep architecture completely changes. Your brain stops producing deep sleep the way it used to. And this change happens whether you feel tired or not. Harvard Medical School sleep studies show that adults over 80 spend 50% less time in deep sleep compared to their 60s and 70s. This isn't insomnia or a sleep disorder you can fix with better habits alone. Your brain physically changes how it cycles through sleep stages. The neurons responsible for generating deep sleep waves become less active, and your brain produces less of the chemicals needed for restorative sleep. You might still sleep 8 hours, but those hours are no longer doing the same repair work they once did. Take the case of Franklin from Seattle, who always been a solid sleeper throughout his life. At 80, he started waking up feeling unrested, despite going to bed at the same time and sleeping through the night. His family thought he was becoming lazy or depressed, but Franklin was experiencing the normal sleep architecture changes that affect virtually everyone after 80. He wasn't getting less sleep, he was getting less quality sleep. The deep sleep stages that restore physical energy and consolidate memories were being shortened automatically by his aging brain, regardless of his sleep hygiene or bedroom environment. The consequences of this sleep change extend far beyond feeling tired. Research from Harvard shows that insufficient deep sleep accelerates cognitive decline by 40% in adults over 80. Your brain uses deep sleep to clear out toxins and strengthen memory pathways. Without adequate deep sleep, these crucial processes slow down significantly. You might notice difficulty remembering names, trouble concentrating on conversations, or feeling mentally foggy throughout the day. Additionally, poor sleep quality weakens your immune system, making you more susceptible to infections and slower to recover from illnesses. Your body's ability to regulate blood sugar and blood pressure also becomes impaired, increasing your risk of serious health complications. Adjust your daily routine immediately to work with your changing sleep needs. Go to bed 30 minutes earlier than you did in your 70s because you need more time in bed to get the same amount of restorative sleep. Expose yourself to bright light for at least 30 minutes every morning, preferably by sitting near a sunny window or taking a short walk outside. This helps reset your internal clock and promotes better sleep quality at night. Most importantly, avoid all screens for 2 hours before bedtime and keep your bedroom temperature between 65 and 68 degrees. Your aging brain is more sensitive to stimulation and temperature changes, so these environmental factors matter more now than they ever did before. Start these changes tonight, because every night of poor sleep makes the next day more challenging. Change 4. Your metabolism hits the brakes. Why does the same diet that worked for years suddenly stop working? At 80, your metabolic rate drops by an additional 200 to 300 calories per day compared to your 70s. The Centers for Disease Control reports that this metabolic slowdown is caused by multiple factors working together. Your muscle mass decreases, which reduces the number of calories your body burns at rest. Your thyroid function becomes less efficient, slowing down your overall energy production. Most significantly, your body becomes resistant to insulin, making it much harder to process carbohydrates and maintain stable blood sugar levels. This isn't about willpower or eating too much. It's about fundamental changes in how your body processes food and energy. Look at what happened to Vernon from Dallas, who maintained the same weight for decades by eating sensibly and staying moderately active. At 80, he continued his exact same eating habits, but gained 15 pounds within 8 months. His doctor ran tests and found nothing wrong, because technically nothing was wrong. Vernon's body was simply operating with a much slower metabolism, and the calories that once maintained his weight were now being stored as fat. This metabolic shift catches many people off guard because it happens gradually, then suddenly becomes noticeable when clothes don't fit or energy levels drop significantly. The health consequences of ignoring this metabolic change are serious and potentially life-threatening. When your metabolism slows and you gain weight after 80, your risk of developing type 2 diabetes increases by 60%, according to CDC data. Excess weight puts additional strain on your heart, joints, and respiratory system at a time when these organs are already working harder. High blood sugar levels damage blood vessels throughout your body, affecting your kidneys, eyes, and circulation. Many seniors who ignore these metabolic changes find themselves dealing with multiple chronic conditions simultaneously, requiring constant medical management and significantly reducing their quality of life. Make these metabolic adjustments starting with your very next meal. Eat your largest meal at breakfast and your smallest meal at dinner, because your metabolism is most active in the morning hours. Reduce your daily caloric intake by 200 to 250 calories, which might mean eating slightly smaller portions or eliminating one snack. Focus on protein-rich foods at every meal to maintain muscle mass and increase your metabolic rate. Walk for 20 minutes after every meal to help your muscles absorb glucose more effectively and reduce blood sugar spikes. These aren't dramatic changes, but they're essential for working with your slower metabolism rather than fighting against it. Your next meal is an opportunity to take control of these changes before they control you. Change 5. Your social needs become critical for survival. At 80, loneliness becomes as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, and this isn't an exaggeration. American Heart Association studies reveal that social isolation increases your risk of death by 50% after age 80. This happens because chronic loneliness triggers a stress response that keeps your body in a constant state of inflammation. Your immune system weakens, your blood pressure rises, and your risk of heart disease and stroke increases dramatically. What makes this particularly dangerous is that many people don't recognize loneliness as a health threat. They might feel sad or bored, but they don't realize that their social isolation is literally shortening their lifespan and accelerating their physical decline. Consider the story of Dolores from Miami, who lived independently and proudly took care of herself at 80. She had a few friends, but as they moved away or passed away, her social circle gradually shrank. Within 2 years, Dolores went from occasional loneliness to spending entire weeks without meaningful conversation with another person. Her family noticed she seemed more confused during phone calls and appeared to be losing weight. What they were witnessing wasn't dementia or a physical illness, but the devastating effects of social isolation on her brain and body. Dolores was experiencing the dangerous health consequences of loneliness that affect millions of seniors. The medical consequences of social isolation after 80 are swift and severe. Harvard research shows that lonely seniors experience cognitive decline 20% faster than those with regular social connections. Your brain literally shrinks when you don't have meaningful social interactions, particularly in areas responsible for memory and decision-making. Isolated seniors also have weaker immune systems, making them more susceptible to infections and slower to heal from injuries or illnesses. Depression rates are 300% higher among socially isolated seniors, and this isn't just feeling sad. Clinical depression in your 80s significantly increases your risk of falls, poor medication compliance, and dangerous neglect of your health and safety. Implement the 15-minute rule starting tomorrow morning. Have at least 15 minutes of meaningful conversation with another person every single day. Whether it's a phone call with family, a chat with a neighbor, or a conversation with a store clerk, join one group activity per week, such as a senior center program, library book club, or community volunteer opportunity. If mobility is limited, participate in online senior groups or video calls with family members. Make eye contact and smile at people you encounter during daily activities like grocery shopping or medical appointments. These brief interactions count more than you might think. Social connection is like exercise for your brain and immune system, and you need it every day to maintain your health. Don't wait for others to reach out to you, because your health depends on taking action now. These 5 changes are inevitable, but being powerless against them is not. Beverly from Denver, who I mentioned at the beginning, is now 82 and stronger than she was at 79. She's living proof that knowing what's coming gives you the power to meet it head-on. By understanding these changes and taking simple daily actions, you can maintain your independence, energy, and health well into your 80s and beyond. If this opened your eyes like it did Beverly's, hit that like button right now. Tell me in the comments which of these 5 changes you've noticed in yourself or a loved one, and what you're going to do about it starting today. Please share this video with any senior in your life, because the best time to prepare for these changes is before they arrive, but the second best time is right now.